MBS pushes back. Trump bristles. Normalisation stalled. A heated White House clash exposes a rift Washington tried to hide, and Riyadh refused to budge. If the Abraham Accords are slipping, who loses the most? A diplomatic rift has emerged between Washington and Riyadh following a contentious White House meeting between President Donald Trump and Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman over Israel normalisation. According to Channel 12 News, the November 18th encounter grew heated when Trump pressed the Saudi leader to join the Abraham Accords. Trump had expected progress on normalising Saudi relations with Israel following the end of the Gaza war. However, the Crown Prince pushed back firmly, explaining that widespread anti-Israel sentiment across Saudi Arabia following the Gaza conflict made such a move politically untenable at present. Reports by Axios and Channel 12 characterized Trump's reaction as one of disappointment and irritation, noting the president had tried very hard to persuade bin Salman. The conversation remained civil, but proved difficult, with the Saudi leader standing his ground throughout. The US official added that bin Salman didn't say never in the meeting regarding normalization with Israel. He left the door open to doing it in the future, but the issue of a two-state solution is a major problem, a condition bin Salman stated publicly at the White House.
With the collapse of Iran's nuclear program totally completed and the war in Gaza over, it is important to President Trump that all countries in the Middle East join the Abraham Accords to advance peace in the region.
The Crown Prince made clear that any normalization would require what he termed an irreversible, credible, and time-bound path towards Palestinian statehood. Salman reiterated this position publicly after the meeting, a demand that directly conflicts with the Israeli government's stated opposition to any such arrangement. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has categorically ruled out Palestinian statehood, even at the cost of normalization with Saudi Arabia. In an interview with the Abu Ali Express Telegram channel aired on November 20th, Netanyahu was unequivocal in his position.
There will not be a Palestinian state. It's very simple. It will not be established. The answer is, a Palestinian state will not be established. It is an existential threat to Israel.
Netanyahu acknowledged that conditions might develop for normalization now that the Gaza war is winding down, but insisted any terms must be acceptable to both sides. He added that he knows how to stand firm on essential conditions without endangering Israeli security, noting that if the process ripens later, excellent, and if not, Israel will safeguard its vital interests. The impasse threatens to derail what Trump's supporters have long trumpeted as a key foreign policy achievement from his first administration. The Abraham Accords, signed in 2020, normalized relations between Israel and the UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, and Sudan, marking the first instance of Arab countries formally recognizing Israel since Jordan in the early 90s. Simon Mabon, Professor of International Relations at Lancaster University, suggests little substantive progress has been made on securing additional signatories since 2020. Writing for The Conversation, Mabon noted that Kazakhstan's announcement to join the Accords in early November came as something of an anticlimax, revealing much about the agreement's current status.
When you consider Netanyahu's explicit rejection of a Palestinian state and the lack of concrete steps towards such a state in Trump's Gaza peace deal, it feels unlikely there will be any more signatories to the Abraham Accords for the foreseeable future.
Prior to the October 7 attacks, expectations had grown that Saudi Arabia would soon join the Accords. However, Hamas's assault on Israel and the subsequent destruction of Gaza halted Saudi overtures entirely. Maben explains that Saudi officials have since declared the establishment of a Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital a necessary precondition for normalisation. Bin Salman has reportedly expressed fears about assassination over normalisation with Israel, whilst publicly linking any future agreement to Palestinian statehood requirements. The professor argues that Israeli policy across the Middle East since October 7th has shifted regional threat perceptions away from Iran, with strikes on multiple countries creating an increasingly unstable security landscape. This has prompted deeper inter-regional collaboration, emphasised by leaders across the Middle East, almost unanimously condemning Israeli strikes on Iran.